don't have any connection for this project. This time, you need to make that connection as a shortcut and you can use, or you need to create a new connection. You just need to go to new. If you want to connect with the SAP, you just need to use a OLAP connection. Right now, I don't have SAP installation in my system. Give me some more time. Once we have done whereby Excelsius on top of SAP and reports on top of SAP. Let me create a relational connection. I hope you know how to create this relational connection. Next, and select your database drivers. For example, you are connecting with the Microsoft Access 2007. Now I am trying to take a drivers called as Microsoft and Microsoft Access 2007 ODBC drivers. If you are connecting with other database, you need to select the respective drivers. Click on next. Then you need to give a username and password for this particular database. I'm giving a username for my database is administrator and password is unrequired. No, there is a lot of passwords you can use. You just need to take that password from the DBA team, then enter that username and password for the data warehouse. Click on OK. You just created the connection for this particular project. Now you have a local project and local connection. Later, if you want to publish a project to the server, you need to publish this connection to the server first. If you want to publish a connection to the server, just expand this project, then just right click on the connection name and go to publish connection to the repository. This time it will publish to the repository. Just connect. I'm just trying to publish to the server. That's why it's asking us to connect server. I just connected with the server. I clicked on in the server. Now I have two connections. One connection is local published in the repository. Connection, whatever you publish in the repository, you call as a secure connection. What are the connection there in the local project that we call as a local connections? Anyway, now in this project, when you see, we have two connections. One is local and second one is a secure connection. But when you use with the help of local connection, the time you not publish that data foundation in the server, the data foundation you can save only in the local. When you create a data foundation with the secure connection, that time you can publish the data foundation in the server and you can create a business layer with the help of the data foundation. Now, very next step is, if you want to import the tables and if you want to make a joins between the tables, if you want to import table and if you want to make a joins and if you want to resolve your loops, if you want to make LOVs, you just need to create a data foundation in R4. But in R3, you need not to create any data foundation. With the help of one data source means one database, I am connecting with the Microsoft Access database so that whatever the data sources there in the Microsoft database I can see now. Click on next. Now you can see you can connect with the secure, then only you can publish. If you take a local connection, the time you cannot publish your data foundation into the repository. Okay, anyway, I selected secure. I want to distribute for multiple people, that way I connected secure connection. Click on finish. Once you click on finish, once you expanded your, you can see a lot of tables. If you want, you can drag and drop and import, or no, once you make a data foundation, whatever the required tables you required, you can drag and drop, or you can go to insert tables. There you can see your tables. There you can see your tables. you can take a, you can just select the tables, click on finish. That will be appeared in the structure pane in the data foundation. So then later you are comfortable to create a connection. I explained you lot of requirements. Now as per my requirement, I want to I want to create a two reports. Report one with the article label, quantity sold, year, article label, quantity sold, year. So that is the case. You need to create a join between article lookup and the soft fact. Once you created your join, you need to double click on the join line. You need to click on detect. When you click on detect, it will set the cardinality for the joins. Then click on OK. Then later I want a year. So if you want to take a year, you need to map the week ID of soft fact to the week ID of calendar year lookup. Then double click on the join line. Double click on the join line. Click on detect. It will set the cardinality. Click on OK. Same way, if you want to connect to the second report, if you want to create a second report, this time you need to join your article lookup article ID with the promotion fact article ID and double click on join line, click on detect, it will set a cardinality, and as well as if you want to set any cardinality between any join between promotion fact and calendar year lookup for the year, just create a join between this week ID and this week ID. You created the join, click on detect, it will set a cardinality. Done. Now you have a 4 tables and 4 joins. The reason is you created the 4 tables and 4 joins for satisfying 2 requirements. First requirement is article label. First requirement is article label as well as quantity sold, year. These 2 joins will satisfy the first requirement. These 2 joins, this side, these 2 joins will satisfy your second requirement. These 2 joins will satisfy your second requirement. But unfortunate, for satisfying these 2 reports, you created 4 joins which form a loop. If you want to resolve a loop, you just need to go to aliases and context. There you have a loop, visualize loop. Click on visualize loop, but it's not showing any loop. Then click on refresh, it will show loop. It says loop can be solved by context. It says this can be solved by the context. Why it is giving can be solved by context? The reason is we have a more than 3 tables and more than one fact table that can be resolved by the context that I explained. If you have only 3 tables, that you can be resolved by shortcut join. If you have more than 3 tables and one fact table, that can be solved by alias. If you have more than 3 tables and more than one fact, that can be resolved by context. Now what you need to do is, from your side, you just need to click on detect context. When you click on detect context, it will create a 2 context. One context is for your first join, and second context is for your second set of joins. When you see here, you have a pink and green. Green is basically selected context and pink is another side. For example, we are running a report with the product promotion fact, product cost. That time it will take that particular path called as the article lookup to soft fact to product promotion fact. When you take no when you take only article lookup, quantity is sold, and calendar you look up that time will take a software. Anyways, you created two giants, click on OK, click on OK. You have a two contexts. Context one is this, context two is this. When you execute software, that time article lookup of software and calendar lookup is enabled, and the system can see only times. When you execute promotion fact report, that time the system enables three tables and disable other table called as the software, and it can see only two giants with the three tables, so that you have a less number of giants than number of fact tables, so that you can satisfy referential integrity, as well as report 2 can take data from the second context. That way you can resolve the loop in the below. Once you resolve your loop, very next step is you have a tables and joins and you resolve the loop. Very next step is you need to create a class and objects. If you want to create classes and objects, why you are converting a table as a class and column as object, you are trying to implement your business logic in the view. If you can't implement a business logic, you just need to drag and drop into right side pane call as class, left side pane call as the classes and objects pane. But fortunate or unfortunate, in our classes and objects in the data foundation, one business layer, create a business layer. If you want to create a business layer, new, take a relational data source, right? Our data, so it's a relational data source. Please select the name of the business layer. I'm just giving a name. Then here you need to browse for that particular data. Click on OK. Now, if you want to create automatically classes and objects based on all tables and columns, so this time if you make automatically create a classes and objects option, this time by default it will create a one class for one table and one object for each column there in the tables. One object for each object there in the table. So that is the case. You just need to click on finish. You just need to create a finish. Generally, it will create a classes and objects, but why? I don't know why it's not. Then if you want to create a folder, just go to folder. If you in the R3 also, if you want to create any objects, first you need to go to folders. Then you need to go to folders. First you need to create a class, then you need to make an object. Same way in R4 also. Here the class name now they renamed as the folder. Class name they are calling as a folder. The synonym for the class is folder. First you need to make a class folder. If you want to make a folder, you need to give the name of the folder. I'm just giving the name called as the time period. The folder name. You can right click on the folder, go to new. There you have a dimension. If you want to create a dimension object, please take a dimension object and give the name of the object. I'm just giving a name called as a year, and go to source script. There you have a you just need to go to definition. You are now in the SQL definition. Then you need to map this object with other column there in the table. So that is a case. You need to go to select class. This is your select. There you have SQL assistance. Click on SQL assistance. But the thing is, now you cannot see the tables. That's why it is not created the classes and objects. Now let me remove business layer. I have done one mistake. I'll tell you what I done. Delete this and go to data foundation. First step, you need to. This is your data foundation. First step, you need to save the data foundation. Once you saved your data foundation, if you want, otherwise if you want to see any local dependencies, you can see here. Anyway, you saved the data foundation. Then if you create a business layer, new business layer, relational data source, click on next. In previous step, I haven't saved the data foundation. That's why you cannot see the tables. Now I saved the data foundation and I'm taking a source as the data foundation. See, you take automatically to create a classes and objects. Click on finish. Now it will create a class for each table and object for each column there in the table. One object for each column there in the table. And if you want to rename, you can rename the object names. But I told you, when you go in automated method, by default it will create a dimensions for each column. Dimensions for each column. If you still have a number column in the table, still it will create a dimension. Then you just need to, in the automated method, you just need to change the qualification of the objects according to your requirement. That is very, very important. You just need to change the qualification of the object according to our requirement. When you see here in the amount sold, still it's taking a, when you go to advanced, when you go to you know the qualification is taking, still as a dimension. You just need to change the qualification. That is very, very important. If you want to add other custom properties also, you can add other custom properties. How you can add a properties? You can write here. You can write any property if you want. Delete this. I told you, in automated method, by default it will create a all as dimensions. If you want to change the dimension, I hope you need to go to let me check. Right click. Here you have a turn into the measures. Just right click in the turn into the measures. That time it will turn into the measures. That time that object you can see in the pink color. If you want to turn this to the measure, please turn to the measure. That is mandatory, you need to do in the automated method. In automated method, by default it will create a class for each table and as well as object for each column. But all the objects it will take as a dimensions. If you want to convert that as a measures, just right click on that particular object and turn to measure option. That is very, very important. Otherwise, if you want to create a manual method, I hope you know how to create a manual method. Just here you need to, if you want to create a new class, you just need to go to new. There you have a folder. Just create a folder and later, or if you want to create an attribute for the detail object for this particular dimension, always in the R3, detail object will be associated with the dimension. If you want to create a detail object for article ID, just take an article ID. There you have an attribute. You need to make an attribute. I'm just making an attribute name called as the color, and I want to associate with the dimension that I am associating with the dimension called as a article ID. If you don't want to take article ID, then go to SQL extents. Then you are taking a something. Category is the my detail. Take a category and click on OK. It will create a one object called as the color. That color is associated with the article ID. In the report level, when you save and export this particular business layer, when you are trying to create a report, in the report when you drag and drop color, it will come up with the article ID also. It won't come in the single object. When you drag color will take you into object article ID also into the result object pane of the report. There is a way you can make your dimension, your measure, your detail object. Based on your requirement, If you want to create a objects in manual method, just right click, go to new. Either if you want to create a dimension, measure, filter. Dimension is always to map the alphanumeric and character column there in the table. Measure is always to map the numeric calculated column. Detail is to map with the descriptive text. It will give a detailed information about that particular dimension. Once you create a detail object, that you need to associate with any one dimension object. So here when you see article ID, I have that particular attribute. In R4 they call as attribute, in R3 they call as a detail object. There's a way you can create your classes and objects. And very next step, once you created your classes and objects, now the customer can see only the classes and object window, but not the tables there in the data foundation, but not joins there in the data foundation. Yes, once you created and exported this universe, saved this universe in the local, it will take backup. That means when you click save, that will save in the local. That means it's a backup of the universe. Then if you want to distribute this universe, you just need to publish this universe to the server. That time people across the world, they can use this as a source and they can build their own reports. Yes, my customer is asking to give a drill down, drill up, drill by, drill through, drill across in the report. I hope you know what is drill down. What is drill down and what is, what is drill down and what is drill down and what is drill up, what is drill by, what is drill through. Drill down is, if you create an object with the year, then customer can navigate up to year to quarter, quarter to month, month to week. For example, when you see in the class time period, when you see in the calendar year class, you just need to organize objects according to the order. Now here when you see, you have a order like this. I want to change the order according to the time period. As when you see in the time, year is the first, then quarter is the next, then month will be the next, just change the order according to the calendar year. Now in the calendar year you can see year first, then quarter next, then month, then month, and remove the unnecessary objects if you don't require, delete it, and I don't require this also, delete it, and I don't require this also, delete it. Now we have a year, quarter, month, week and holiday. Now I am not creating any hierarchy. See, if the customer want to move year to quarter, quarter to month, month to week, week to day, holiday, that time what you need to do is, when you see in the navigation path, by default it will create a one hierarchy for each. By default it will create a one hierarchy for each class. When you see in article, when you see in the calendar, you look up, you have a year, quarter, month, week, holiday. Year, quarter, month, week, holiday. This time the customer can navigate from year to quarter, quarter to month, month to week, week to holiday. Then what you need to see, you have a default hierarchies. This you need not to create. By default it will create an hierarchy for each class there in the universe. Now when you see each class, whatever the order of the objects presented, in the hierarchy it will displaying that as a level. When you see in the calendar year lookup, the first level is year, the next level is quarter, month, week, day. Same order it will take in the hierarchy also. This default hierarchies you need not to create in BO. Then if you want to, when you save this particular business layer, When you right click, if you want to publish this business layer to the people to create a report, you just need to right click. There you need to click publish to a repository. Publish to a repository. Click on next, click on finish, click on close. This time you created your business layer and you published into the repository. If you want to create a report on top of this business layer, you need to select the required reporting tool in the BO. I'm just selecting a reporting tool called as a Web Rich Client. Let me explain how the hierarchy will work in BO. How the hierarchy will work in BO. And then select your universe. The universe name is and then let me enter our BO username password. I'm just connecting with the server. Now anyway I exported the universe to the server. This time you can see your universe. Your universe name called as a sample 5. Just select sample 5. Click on select. I just selected that sample 5 as our source universe. I just published the business layer. I haven't published the data foundation. So that's why I cannot see the classes. So I cannot see tables and joins what is there in the data foundation. The reason is I published only business layer to the repository. Now my customer can see whatever the classes and objects I created in the business layer. Now I'm just creating a report with the year. Year means high level object there in the particular high level object there in the class, and I'm taking a amount sold also. Run query. Run a query. Now it will display all the available years and their respective amount sold. Respective amount sold. Yes, it's giving an amount sold. I think we put some filter. Later we'll see how to remove this filter. Now when you see here, you have a year-wise sales revenue. Year-wise sales revenue. That's why displaying year comma sales revenue value. Year comma sales revenue value. I'll tell you the reason is it's giving a lot of values for 2005. The reason is you have a lot of products. That's why it's giving a lot of values. If you want to remove this, if you want to take a maximum amount for this, you just need to put max of. Okay, anyway, you have this, and if you want to apply a drill on this report, you just need to go to data access. There you have you just need to apply a drill. You need to go to analysis. There you have a drill. You just enable the drill. Now when the user clicks on 2005, if you click on year, it will take you into the quarter. If you click on quarter, it will take you into the month. When you click on month, it will take you into the week. When you click on week, it will take you into the holiday. But you cannot navigate into the any other level. The end user can navigate up to last level of the class, last level of the object there in the class. For example, see, you created the report with the year-wise sales, and customer is navigated year to quarter, quarter to month, month to week, week to holiday. But they cannot navigate into any other level. But my customer is asking, yes, boss, you give me a chance to navigate up to year to quarter, quarter to month, month to week, week to holiday. But give me a chance to navigate up to promotion ID. Promotion ID. But fortunate or unfortunate, promotion ID is there in the product promotion fact. That time, now customer is requesting to navigate from one class to another class. But in the drill down is a functionality in BO to navigate one level to one by one level down in the same class. For example, you create a report with the year comma sales revenue. That year is from calendar year lookup class. In the drill down, you can navigate up to year to quarter, quarter to month, month to week, week to holiday. Holiday is the last level object there in the calendar year lookup. If you want to move from calendar year to product promotion fact, that time that concept you call as a drill through or drill across. For the drill through and drill across in BO, you need to make an hierarchy called as the custom hierarchy. If you want to make an custom hierarchy, you need to go to navigation paths. There you have a custom. Just enable custom and click on add. I'm just creating a custom path based on time slash product. Time slash product, and then click on add. If you want to give a chance for them to take year, add quarter, then month, then week, holiday, and now the customer request is they want to move to the production promotion ID. Yes,